students, welcome to lecture notes 2 on rectifiers. In last class we have discussed about the basic operation of different types of rectifiers. In last class we discussed about the half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier and bridge rectifier. Today our topic is analysis of the half wave rectifier. So with the help of mathematical analysis we can go for the how we can do mathematical analysis for the half wave rectifier. So this is today our main topic. Coming to mathematical analysis. So before the first analytical part is, average DC load current. Average DC load current. How we can calculate the average DC load current? Before going to that, so I am giving small introduction about the half wave rectifier. With the help of that half wave rectifier only, we can go for the analytical part. So half wave rectifier consists of the one step down transformer at the input side and transformer secondary and is connected to the diode, and diode output we are connecting to the one load resistor. So this one is a load resistor RL, this one diode D1, right? So this is the basic circuit diagram of the half wave rectifier. So what is output of the half wave rectifier? So here we are getting, here input is sine wave. So here input is sine wave. What is our output? So our output we are getting the only positive peak. So this positive peak is coming at the output side. So from mathematically the whole sine wave we are taken as the 0 to 2 pi. So half of the peak we are named as the pi. So 0 to pi, pi to 2 pi. So what is the output we are getting? So only 0 to pi positive peak we are getting at the output and negative peak is going to the suppressor. So with this, so we can move for the mathematical analysis of the half wave rectifier. The first analysis, average DC load current, IDC. So what is our IDC? So IDC is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral of 0 to pi Im sin omega t d of omega t, right? This is expression for the IDC. What is Im? Im is maximum peak current. Im is the maximum peak current. So how we can solve this equation? So here Im is constant. We will take in front Im by 2 pi, right? Im by 2 pi integral of 0 to pi sin omega t d of omega t, right? So what is the integration of sine? What is integration of sine? What is integration of sine? That is basic formula, already you learned in first year itself, right? So for sine, integration of sine is minus cos, right? How we can solve? So that equal to Im by 2 pi of integration of sine is minus cos omega t, right? So what is limits up to 0 to pi? So pi and 0 to pi. So we have to substitute this 0 to pi at the place of omega t. So that equal to, so minus also we are taking outside. So minus Im by 2 pi of, how we can write this? Cos pi minus cos 0. What is the value of cos pi? Anyone? Cos pi value is minus Im by 2 pi, cos pi is minus 1, cos 0 is 1. So what is value? Total value? We are getting the minus Im by 2 pi of minus 2. Right? So Im minus Im by 2 pi minus 2. So what we are getting at the output side? So here IDC is equal to 2 Im by 2 pi. So 2 is going to cancel though. So final equation for the IDC equal to Im by pi. This is the expression for the IDC. Right? This is the expression for the IDC. Right? So IDC expression. Note down, this is the first expression, the average DC current. So this is first expression. IDC equal to Im by pi. Right? So we can go with the Im. So what is Im? Im is the peak current. Im is the peak value of the current. Current. How we can represent the current? I equal to, how we can represent the current? So basic formula, V equal to I into R, Ohm's law. So I equal to V by R. Right? So Im is equal to ESM, means maximum peak voltage of the secondary side divided by total resistance. What is total resistance here? So here secondary side means this is transformer primary, here this one is a transformer secondary, here we have diode and one load resistance. How we can write? So first for transformer secondary terminals also they have the minimum value of the resistance. So this resistance I am going to take in as the RS. RS is the secondary winding resistance. Again in diode we are taking only for the forward bias. Why? Because for positive peak only diode is working in short circuit mode. So here, so RS. So here for diode, so we are taking the RF. So RF means forward resistance of the diode. Why? Because at open circuit we are not taking the anything, right? So already we described the previous IDC equations, right? That's why we are taking the RF. So load resistance RL. How many resistance here we have? So here we have the 3 resistance. What are those 3 resistance? First one is RS plus RF plus RL. So we have the 3 resistances. So Im is equal to, okay, total voltage, ESM by, means total voltage by total resistance. Here total resistance is RS plus RF plus RL. Right? So this is the equation for Im. This is the equation for Im. Right? So this is the expression for the first average DC load current. Right? Right. So our second expression is the average DC load voltage. So what is our average DC load voltage? So average DC load voltage I am taken as a EDC. Average DC voltage I am taken as a EDC. So how we can write average DC voltage? Voltage. So that is basic formula, V equal to I into R. So here I can write the IDC into RL. Right? Total DC current into RL. Right? So we solve the what is meant by IDC. So previous slide only I explained that what is IDC. So what is IDC? So IDC equal to Im by pi into RL. Right? So what is Im? What is Im? So Im is equal to, so already we solved, I equal to E S M secondary maximum voltage by RS secondary winding resistance, diode forward resistance plus total load resistance, right, divided by pi into RL. How we can rearrange this thing? How we can rearrange? So ESM divided by pi of RS plus RF plus RL into RL, right? So here you can divide RL with numerator and denominator. So what we can get? So that equal to ESM. So what is this? EDC equal to ESM divided by pi of RS plus RF divided by RL plus 1. Right? This is the expression for EDC. This is the expression for EDC. Right? Here I have to tell another important point also. RL is load value of the resistance. Right? This is the load value of resistance. RS is winding resistance. This is very low value. RF is forward bias diode resistance. That is also very low value. Right? So these both are very low value. That is nearly equal to 0. So if we are taking like that means this whole term we are neglecting means so this is compared to 1. This is very low value. Then how we can write this EDC? So EDC is equal to ESM by pi. So this is not exact equal to, this is approximately equal to ESM by pi. Right? This is the equation for average DC load voltage. Right? So here till now we can derive the two expression. One is the average DC current and second one is the average DC load voltage. Right? So we can go for the next one. So next one is the, just I am explaining, with the help of first two expressions, okay, we can move the further expression. We can solve the further expressions itself, right? So the main thing is we have to know about the how to solve the IDC and EDC, right? IDC and EDC. So that these two are the very important thing, right? With this regard, so I am going to the next expression, that is RMS or value of the load current. RMS. What is meant by RMS? Root mean square value of the load current. So root mean square value means so our current we are giving to the square part, right? So that IRMS is equal to square root of 1 by 2 pi. So this is expression you know. So here we are taking up to 0 to pi only. Our expression is Im sin omega t. Root means square value. So already we applied root and here we are providing the square. So d of omega t. So this is also simple integration only. So we can solve this thing means we can get the IRMS is equal to Im by 2. Right? This is the IRMS of equal to Im by 2. Right? This is the expression for the RMS value of the load current. Next one, DC power output. So DC power output. So how power we can represent? Power equal to voltage into current. So E into I. Right? Voltage into current. So DC, here we are taking the DC power. So we are named as the PDC equal to EDC into IDC. That's why I write it as a PDC is equal to EDC into IDC. Right? So how we can write voltage EDC? Anyone? EDC. Right? Voltage. Okay? Voltage equal to, here also V equal to I into R only. So we can write IDC into, so this we can write the IDC into RL. So this we can write the IDC into RL. Then finally that is equal to, so IDC into IDC, IDC square into RL. So we are getting the IDC square into RL. So the final expression is IDC square into RL. So already we know the expression of the IDC. So what is IDC expression? Im by pi. So Im by pi whole square into RL. So we are substituting, that means we are getting the PDC equal to Im square by pi square into RL, right? This is the expression for the PDC. Further, if we are substituting Im also, so we know Im value also, right? So we know Im value also. If you are, what is Im value? This is the value of Im. So Im is equal to, okay, ESM by RF plus RS plus RL. So we are substituting same thing to here, means finally we are getting the, okay, DC power. The DC power PDC is equal to ESM square into RL divided by RF plus RS plus RL whole square into pi square, right? So this is the DC power. So coming to the AC power input. So coming to the AC power input. So AC power, what is the AC power input? So the power input taken from the secondary. So here we have to know about this part. The power input of the secondary of the transformer is called as the, okay, AC power input. For the diode, diode input is secondary of the transformer only. How we can write? So how we can write? So PAC. Here also we can write power equal to I square into total resistance, I square into R, right? So here what is I square? So for transformer, I equal to RMS value, root mean square value. So I square means I RMS square into total resistance. What is total resistance at the output side? So here load resistance plus forward bias diode resistance plus transformer secondary winding resistance. So this is the PAC. So we know that what is IRMS. IRMS is equal to Im by 2. So we are substituting same thing here, means finally we are getting the PAC value. So power at AC power. So AC power is equal to Im square by 4 RL plus RF plus RS, right? This is the AC power input. Coming to the rectifier efficiency. This is also one of the important thing. What is meant by efficiency? Efficiency is the output by input, right? Efficiency is the output by input. So how we can calculate the efficiency? So for example, if you taking any subject, how you calculate your percentage, right? If you generally the maximum mark is the 100, right? Maximum mark is the 100, but you get the 60 marks. How you can get maximum percentage? 60 by 100. So 60 is your output marks. Okay, what is input maximum mark? 100. 60 by 100 means you are getting the 60%. So not for your marks. So for circuits also we have to calculate the efficiency itself, right? So efficiency is the, okay, so output by input. So what is output by what is output? So here efficiency will be defined as eta is equal to, so what is our output? So PDC, DC power, that is PDC divided by AC power. AC power is PAC, right? Efficiency formula is PDC by PAC. So already we derived the PAC and PDC. Simply we are substituting PDC and PAC. So these are the values we are substituting here. Then we are getting the final equation of the 0.406 divided by 1 plus RF plus RS divided by RL. Right? For theoretically, so I already told this, I already told you. So how this RF is very low value of resistance, RS also very low value of resistance, right? So inversely means here this is very lesser. So if we are neglecting this means the total efficiency is equal to 0.40 efficiency, right? So 40.6 efficiency is very low value, right? That's why practically, last class also I told you, practically half wave rectifier we are not using. Why? Because efficiency also very less for the half wave rectifier. So continue na. Next value is ripple factor. So what is meant by ripple factor? This is very important definition. So with the help of ripple factor only we can design the any type of the power supply. So rectifier generally we are defined as the RMS value of the AC component divided by average of the DC component. So how much AC component we are getting at the output side, right? Output side along with the DC. Okay, that is called as the ripple factor. Generally if we are substituting like that means generally here I wrote that mathematically ripple factor is defined as, right, RMS value of the AC component in the output to the average DC component present in the output. So here RMS value of the AC component, average value of the DC component. Same thing I write it here also. Right. How we can derive the ripple factor? So IRMS equal to, generally we can write as a IAC square plus IDC square. So here I will rewrite. So IDC square, IAC square by IDC square. So we rearrange the, we need the IAC, right? We need the IAC. So I am getting the IAC means that is square root of IRMS square minus IDC square. So what is ripple factor? Ripple factor is the IAC by IDC. So same IAC, we know that here we have the IAC. So IDC I am substituting. Simply same thing I am substituting here. That is basic substitutions only. That is basic thing only. Basic SSC substitutions only. I am substituting like that. Finally we are getting the pi square by 4 minus 1, square root of pi square by 4 minus 1. So finally we are getting the square root of 1.4674. So theoretically the ripple factor value is 1.214. So here the main point is ripple factor is high is better or low is better? Anyone? Right. Ripple factor low is better. Why means? So how we are defining the ripple factor? AC by DC. So output side we need only DC only at that time. So AC component we as less as possible we get. So here the ripple factor is very high for the half wave rectifier, right? This is also one of the disadvantage of the half wave rectifier. Coming to the peak inverse voltage. So what is meant by peak inverse voltage? Peak inverse voltage means so we have the at the input of the diode we have the two pulses. So one is positive pulse and second one is the negative pulse. So positive pulse is coming at the output side. So positive pulse is coming at the output side. So what about this negative pulse? What about this negative pulse? At this negative pulse, diode is in reverse bias. Means at this total negative pulse, diode is withstand. So how much negative voltage diode is going to the withstand? That is called as the peak inverse voltage. So peak inverse voltage. So peak inverse voltage we can defined as across the diode in the reverse direction. So right, reverse direction when the diode reverse biased, right? So when diode is reverse biased, then maximum how much reverse peak it will be withstandable. Why? Because after some point diode is going to the, means what happened? So we are giving the diode characteristics, means so forward bias okay, reverse bias we are getting very less voltage, after that breakdown is occurred. So what is maximum breakdown? So what is maximum withstandable reverse current? That is called as the peak inverse voltage. What is peak inverse voltage? Here the peak inverse voltage is minus negative peak, only negative peak. So here peak inverse voltage we can write as the negative peak. This is the PIV, peak inverse voltage, right? This is the simple definition for the peak inverse voltage. Coming to the transformer utilization factor. This is also one of the important parameter. How much transformer we have to utilize? For example, I have 1 hour class. How much time I am utilizing for the teaching for you, right? That is, for example, I am teaching the 1 hour itself, but your brain is withstand with the only 20 minutes. So is your utilization how much? Only 20%, right? So transformer utilization means how transformer we are utilizing. So before going to the derivation, simply I am telling that only half of the peak we are utilizing, half of the peak we are suppressing, we are not utilizing, right? Half of the power only we are utilizing. So coming to this derivation means how we can define the transformer utilization factor, that is named as a TUF, is defined as the ratio of DC power delivered of the load. So DC power delivered at the load. So how much you are getting in your brain, that is DC power. So output power divided by what is our input AC power rating of the transformer, right? So we can substitute. What is AC power means? So already we know that AC power P equal to voltage into current. So that same thing I write it here. So I solve same AC power like this, right? So what is DC power means? Already we know that DC power means IDC square into RL, that is equal to IM. We are substituting IDC equal to IM by pi, means IM by pi whole square into RL. Finally we are substituting these things, means we are substituting transformer utilization factor. So here we are substituting the DC power at the delivered at the output and AC power rating also. Finally we are substituting both expressions in the TUF, means we are getting this value of the transformer utilization factor. Why I am not going to telling this, means these are the very basic solving, right? We can solve very basic thing, right? So that's why, so we can get the 0.287. So percentage wise if we are taking, means only 28.7% only we are utilizing the transformer. This is also one of the disadvantage of the half wave rectifier. That's why we are not using half wave rectifier in practical manner. Next, regulation, voltage regulation. So how much voltage regulation, how we can define the voltage regulation? The voltage regulation is a factor which tell us about the change in the DC output as the load change from the no load to the full load, right? So output side sometimes we are connecting mobile phones, sometimes we are connecting some laptop charger, like that we are changing the load. So it will be how much constancy it will be providing. Okay, that will be fine with the help of regulation. With the help of basic formulation only we can find voltage regulation. So that is total voltage of the no load. So without applying any load, so what is our total voltage? With full load, what is our total DC voltage divided by what is DC voltage with the help of full load. This is called as the voltage regulation. Coming to the another two simple definitions. Those are the form factor and peak factor. Coming to the form factor is equal to RMS value by average value. This is not that much of important. Simply we are calculating with the help of just mathematically. That value is 1.57. So peak factor also we are calculating the peak value divided by RMS value. That is also we are substituting, means we are getting the 2. So this is about the analysis of the half wave rectifier, right? This is the analysis of the half wave rectifier, right? So here we analyzed the half wave rectifier. So with this extension, same formulation and same process we are applying for the full wave rectifier also, right? So how we can compare these all things, right? So which now you can tell which rectifier is practically we can use. So first comparison parameter. So I will take another color. So right, first comparison is number of diodes. Here we are using the one diode only for half wave rectifier. For full wave rectifier 2 diodes, bridge rectifier 4 diodes, right? So next point is the average DC voltage. So average DC voltage is the Im by pi. So here we are getting the 2 Im. Why? Because for full wave rectifier 2 peaks we are getting at the output side. So here we are getting the 2 positive peaks at the output side. That's why this Im we are getting the 2 Im by pi, right? For bridge wave rectifier also we are getting the same thing. That's why here also 2 Im by pi. Next one is the average DC voltage. So average DC voltage, so ESM by pi. So here also we are getting the double only. So 2 ESM by pi. Here also same thing we are getting, right? So RMS value. So Im by 2. Here Im by root 2. Im by root 2. Coming to the efficiency. This is very, very important. So efficiency as high as possible. But for half wave rectifier, efficiency is only 40.66%, right? 40.6%. For full wave, it is 81.2%. For bridge wave also, bridge rectifier also, it is 81.2 only, right? So for full wave rectifier, we are getting the more efficiency. Coming to the ripple factor. So I already told you, okay, ripple factor as less as possible, it will be better, right? Don't want the AC component at the output side, right? So that's why very less value at the output. So here, but half wave rectifier we are getting the 1.21, but full wave rectifier we are getting the 0.482, 0.482, right? So what is peak inverse voltage? So peak inverse voltage for the half wave rectifier is the maximum reverse peak we are getting. I already told you this. Here we are getting the for positive peak, okay, this is not considerable, only negative peak diode will be withstandable. So this is called as the ESM. Here we are named as the 2 ESM. Why means here we are taking the center tapped transformer. For center tapped transformer, so at a time we are getting the 2 peaks. For here we are getting the 2 inputs. One is the positive to negative, another is the negative to positive, right? So at this thing also diode will be withstandable, this thing also diode will be withstandable. That's why here the total peak inverse voltage is 2 ESM. But bridge rectifier we are taking the only ESM only. Why? Because for bridge rectifier the secondary transformer we are getting the only single sine wave only, right? So the last point is maximum load current. So load current is the ESM RF plus RS plus RL. So here also ESM RF plus RS plus RL. But here for bridge rectifier 2 RF. Why? Because at a time 2 diodes are in forward bias. That's why twice we are taking the resistance 2 RF. This is the comparison of the different rectifier, right? With this instance we have completed the rectifiers, right? So today class I analyzed the half wave rectifier. With the help of same formulations and same procedure, you can go with the full wave rectifier and bridge rectifier also. So for bridge rectifier not necessary. Why? Because same thing we are getting. So at least you can go for the full wave rectifier analytical part. This is assignment for you, right? Thank you. If you have any doubts, you can message me.